Hello everybody and welcome to Potsdam State. We're here at the game between the Lisbon Golden Knights and the Chazy Eagles of Chazy. Lisbon comes into the game with an 18-1 record. Chazy comes in with a 19-0 record, winning their region and the #1 ranked state team in New York State. Chazy is favored in today's game, but Lisbon has other thoughts about that. They had to get through a tough Chateauguay team, and I think it was, is it Edward Knox, Calvin?
Edward Knox defeated Chateauguay, then Lisbon defeated Edward Knox.
Okay, so here we're in the action right now, and Dana Ledoux has the ball, being challenged by a Lisbon offensive player. We'll try to get you the names here. It looks to be like Alicia Felt. She's one of the top goal scorers for Lisbon. The ball is in the Chazy end right now. Chazy trying to clear it out. Number 14, which would be Madeline Gay. The ball clears out. Goal kick for Chazy. Lisbon takes the early rush on Chazy here in the early going. A goal kick for Chazy. Number 22 would be Caitlin Halley. Clears it up toward midfield. On the left side is number 4, Shawnee Trombley. Shawnee Trombley's had a good year this year with 9 goals and 12 assists for 30 points. And she clears it to the center. And number 19 with Bridget Dahl sends it to the center up to Madeline Gay, who pushes it over to Shawnee Trombley, but controlled by Lisbon. They come down to number 15, Alicia Felt. Again, Alicia Felt has 6 goals and 3 assists, so she has found the back of the net a few times this year, and she can be a threat for Lisbon. We're a couple minutes into the game, and the ball has been into the Chazy end, with Lisbon controlling the tempo of the game early on. Calvin, your thoughts on today's game between an 18-1 team and a 19-0 team?
Well, it's obviously a good matchup that anybody can win. The ironic thing thus far in the 7-10 matchups has been that the Section 7 boys came here and swept 3 games, and the Section 10 girls went to Plattsburgh and swept 3 games. So the Lions of E-Town are going to be playing here later, and the Chazy girls today. So 7-10 matchups are interesting, and so far the away team has won them.
So there is definitely no home field advantage, as we've seen early on in the playoffs here in 2006. The ball is finally into the Lisbon end, but cleared back out. Number 23, Austri Kempinen. She's an 8th grader for Chazy. Sends it up to the far right side over to Helen Giroux. Helen Giroux is the most prolific goal scorer in the region, and she is definitely the #1 goal scorer for Chazy. She has a total of 121 points, which is almost unheard of in soccer play. She has 53 goals and 15 assists. The ball was cleared out. It will be a goal kick for Lisbon. Bridget Teal is the goaltender for Lisbon. She's a strong goalie. She had a nice write-up in the paper today prior to today's game, and she's one of the reasons that they're this far into the playoffs. And Helen Giroux in the box lets a shot go wide of Teal, just outside the left goal post, and it will be a goal kick for Lisbon. Teal is setting up the goal kick right now on the opposite side, and she'll let her fullback take the kick. The player set up. She sends the ball toward the center of the field. The ball is headed in by number 19, which would be Bridget Dahl. Madeline Gay lets a shot rip wide right, out of bounds. Goal kick for Lisbon. We're about 3-4 minutes into the first half. Chazy is down in Lisbon end. Lisbon had the early control, but Chazy has gained control here in about the 4-minute mark. Ball is at the half-field mark. Number 14 would be Madeline Gay, trying to push it over to Shawnee Trombley, Dana Ledoux. She's a workhorse for Chazy, very fast, one of the strong players on the defense for Chazy. Lisbon moving the ball well. But number 19, Bridget Dahl, has other ideas and sends it down deep into the Chazy or Lisbon end, and it's cleared out, controlled by number 13, Allison Felt. And I'm sure Allison and Alicia are sisters. She sends it into the Chazy end. Ball is cleared down. The numbers for number 7, Jessica Lee Hollis. She's another big goal scorer for Lisbon with 9 goals and 10 assists for a total of 28 points. The big goal scorer is Rianne Fletcher. She's number 4 for Lisbon. She has 32 goals and 6 assists for 70 total points this year. It will be a goal kick for, actually it was a indirect kick for Caitlin Halley. She sends it up, controlled by Lisbon. Number 4, Rihanna Fletcher. That's one you have to look out for Lisbon. She can be dangerous for them. The ball is cleared in, and the ball is saved by number 15, Alicia Felt, another goal scorer for Lisbon. The ball is pushed to the side, controlled by Victoria Reynolds. Victoria Reynolds came up in the varsity level as an 8th grader. She's a 9th grader right now, and she is a threat for the Chazy offense. She sends it to midfield. The ball comes back, controlled by number 14, Madeline Gay sends it up for Helen Drew, a non-Russian Helen Drew, trying to get by she gets by one Lisbon defender, but not by the second one. It's cleared back to midfield, but number 23 for Chazy, Austri Kempinen, had it on the right side, but taken away. It was a push on Lisbon. It will be a direct kick for Chazy. They are setting up. It looks like Helen Drew will take the kick for Chazy, looking to send it into the box. Chazy players set up. Helen Drew lets a high kick go toward the net. It bounces wide of the net, cleared out to the left, and is that Morgan Rusi? Number 14, it's Madeline Gay. Madeline Gay has the ball, trying to work toward the Chazy net, knocked away. Off Madeline Gay, it'll be a Lisbon throw-in.
Joey, we want to mention where we are here. We're inside the building with raindrops on the windows, but there's nothing but umbrellas out there, and with our equipment, I just didn't want to ruin the equipment and take a chance with all the rain that's falling today. And this game was delayed for well over half an hour due to thunder and lightning.
That is correct, Calvin, and I appreciate your executive decision. I get to stand here with you, so I don't have to be outside, so we appreciate that very much. We're back to the action right now, deep into the Lisbon end. The ball is cleared out. And one thing about calling the game from here, Calvin, it's much tougher to get the numbers on the players' jerseys.
Well, particularly the ones that are coming at us. Lisbon, you can't pick up at all until they get right on top of us and turn their back. So it's making it tough for you.
But we'll do the best that we can here. Victoria Reynolds pushes it over to Madeline Gay, who sends it up toward Helen Giroux. Helen Giroux gets by one defender on the right-hand side. Number 23, Austri Kempinen, going toward the center. Comes back to help Helen Giroux, and the ball is cleared out wisely by a Lisbon defender. Number 6 for them, which would have been Dana Mahaffey. I'll tell you, Calvin, when Helen Drew has the ball in that end, the best plan of attack you can do is just clear the ball out.
Well, they won't find any mud in the field today, Joey. It's an artificial turf field, but the turf extends just to the edge of the playing area. There's grass just beyond it. So there is no mud out there.
Well, for a wet day here at Potsdam State, we have a nice-looking crowd here. The fans are somewhat full. We have fans lined up around the field, so they're here to cheer on their teams. And you know, you have an 18-1 team and a 19-0 team go at each other. You know it's going to be a good game, and we're predicting a low-scoring game. Obviously, we're filming this for the Chazy fans, so we hope Chazy wins this. And right now they do have a corner kick. It looks like Helen Giroux. She sends it into the box. Oh, there's a header. Yes, Chazy scores. We're trying to see who got the goal. But what a perfect cross from Helen Giroux. And I saw the number, but then it was covered. 19, it looks like Bridget Dahl. Bridget Dahl gets her head on a beautiful cross from Helen Giroux. And the number 1 state-ranked team in New York State, Chazy, draws first blood here at Potsdam State. Chazy 1, Lisbon nothing. At 32 minutes, 10-second mark of the first half, Bridget Dahl, the freshman for Chazy, on a header, on a beautiful pass from Helen Giroux, a beautiful header in the upper right-hand corner, and Bridget Dahl gives Chazy the 1-0 lead. Calvin, you score the first goal, that can take the sail out of your sails.
Sometimes the first goal is the only goal, Joe, and it doesn't matter when it comes early sometimes, and still the only goal, so you never know.
Well, it was a big goal for Chazy, and I'm sure Coach Dumoulin is very happy they got that first one on the board. And right now, number 5 for Chazy, which would be Victoria Reynolds, coming down the left side, and it was knocked away by a Lisbon defender. There's a Lisbon rush right now. She'll go to the right side over to a good give and go. 3 beautiful passes from Lisbon. Number 15, we've said that name before, Alicia Felt. But Shawnee Trombley fighting with Allison Felt, so it was Felt to Felt, sister to sister, but knocked away. Well, I would assume so, but I could be wrong. And I'm sure I'm sure I'll be corrected. That's true. The Trombley boys are not related. But if I make a mistake, well, I'll let somebody from Lisbon call and tell me. Well, I'm being corrected. Bridget is a 10th grader. I thought she was a 9th grader. She's a 10th grader.
Is that our off-color commentator?
That was our off-color commentator, Charlene Baker. She's here to keep me straight. If you hear me go, oof, that means she's giving me an elbow on the side there because I said something wrong. So she keeps me straight and on the arrow here. But Brittany Goodrow sends it out to the left side to Shawnee Trombley, controlled by Lisbon. Lisbon sends it in, and Bridget Dahl with the ball. She's a tough, athletic player for Chazy. And Victoria Reynolds knocks it over to Morgan Rusi. And the player taken down. It was Madeline Gay she tried to get the ball to, but taken down by Bridget Dahl. And it will be a direct kick for Lisbon. Chazy has a very tough defense, Calvin, and we can't overlook their goalie, Casey Olds. Only 4 goals given up this year. It's a combination of her being a good goalie and a very strong defense.
Yeah, she's got 16 and a half shutouts in 19 games. That's a good record right there. And what I heard is that Lisbon only allows about half a goal per game also, so they're also a tough team.
Well, we heard that Bridget Teal for Lisbon is a very strong goalie. You couldn't fault her on that first goal that they had. It was just a picture-perfect play that not many goalies would have had any chance on. We are at the 29-minute mark here in the first half. Chazy ahead 1-0, and the ball is cleared into the Lisbon end. Number 23, Austri Kempinen, would probably be called for a handball on that one, and it will be an indirect kick for Lisbon coming back toward the Chazy end. Shots on net right now, it's 2-0 with Chazy controlling the shots on net. The play of the game at this point, I would say, has been pretty much even at the midfield mark, Calvin.
They both had the ball at the other end, and yeah, it's been 50-50 pretty much.
Well, that's what you'd expect from 2 powerhouse teams that we see today, and it's always a treat to call a game with Calvin when you especially have 2 quality teams like Chazy and Lisbon going at each other. And we're in the Lisbon end right now. Number 4, Shawnee Trombley, sends it over to what's kind of loose right now, but Dana Ledoux controlling, looking, trying to pass to somebody, but knocked away by Alicia Felt. And 14, Madeline Gay led a shot toward the net, but knocked away. Shawnee Trombley sends it back in toward the box. It's a loose ball, a pass to Giroux, as Calvin tells me. And Lisbon has the ball, pushes it wide left, on their left. And Shawnee Trombley trying to get the ball. Trombley and Felt battling each other. And that would be Alicia Felt, not Allison Felt. Allison is number 13, and Alicia is number 15 for Lisbon. Dana Ledoux going to be throwing the ball in down the line over to Victoria Reynolds. Ball is knocked out. Chazy ball. Shawnee Trombley with the throw in. She goes, out of bounds. It will be a bad throw from Shawnee Trombley going over to Lisbon. Substitution taking place. We're trying to get the numbers for you, but it's a little difficult here. Off for Lisbon is number 11, Danielle Winters. And I think it was Rachel Baldish for Lisbon coming in. Lisbon on the rush, knocked away from Madeline Gay. Ball around midfield. And that would have been Samantha Levine. Pushing it over to Shawnee Trombley. She'll go down trying to find Victoria Reynolds, knocked away. Controlled by Lisbon at the midfield mark. Sent up. Brittany Goodrow controls the ball. She cleans it up to Shawnee Trombley. Shawnee Trombley working for the ball, and Madeline Gay sends it up. Helen Giroux on a rush. Helen Giroux has one defender to beat, but she's being challenged. Helen Giroux going down, and a shot right at Bridget Teal, and a nice save by Teal on an on-rushing Helen Giroux. Helen Giroux does have 1 point tonight with an assist over to Bridget Dahl. It'll be a Chazy throw-in. We're at the 26-minute mark. I am Joey Trombley with Calvin Castine on the camera, and then we have our off-colored commentator, Charlene Baker, to my right here. So we'll get her into the mix here a little bit here later on. Lisbon sends the ball in toward midfield, and Caitlin Halley pushes it over, but controlled by Lisbon. Nice move from a Lisbon attacker, pushes it up, and it will be cleared by number 19, Bridget Dahl. She sends it up into the Lisbon area. Helen Drew probably called for a push. It looks like she's kind of contesting the call, but it will be an indirect kick just outside of midfield for Lisbon. All right, we're back to the action here. We're at the midfield mark. And Bridget Dahl sends it back to midfield. Helen Drew rushing for the ball. Two defenders, and it is controlled, it looked like, by Jessica Lee Hollis. Takes it away from Helen Drew. Ball's on the right side, and it will be a Chazy throw-in with, it looks like, Caitlin Halley with the throw-in. Got some subs coming in here. Looks like Morgan Rusey in and Samantha Levine out. Rusey in for Levine for Chazy. And we're going to try to do the Lisbon for you here, players, but we got to see their numbers. It looks like 17 came out, Liz Kennedy. And who'd you see, Calvin? 24, Morgan Beldock for Lisbon into the game. Their first time into the game here. And Madeline Gay gets it over to Victoria Reynolds, pushes it back to Shawnee Trombley, makes a nice move by number 4, Rhiannon Fletcher. Number 14, Madeline Gay pushes it up toward number 23, Astrid Kempinen. And off to the right side is that 22? Caitlin Halley? No, not sure who that was. Number 12, that would have been Morgan Rusey. Okay, Halley is on defense. She sends it back to the center. It would have been 23, Astrid Kempinen. Ball cleared back to midfield, controlled by Chazy. But non-Russian Lisbon defender forces the play. And Bridget Dahl making a nice move, knocked away. And a trip on number 4, Rhiannon Fletcher for Lisbon. And it'll be a indirect kick, it looks like, near midfield for Chazy. Madeline Gay with the kick, looking to send it into the box. She goes to the right side, it's going toward the box. Helen Drew rushing up, ball too far into Bridget Teal for Lisbon. She punts the ball back to midfield. Ball is cleared off to the left side. Caitlin Halley on the ball, but being challenged by a Lisbon defender. And Caitlin Halley trying to keep it in. She does. Pushes it back over to Rusey. Rusey back to Halley. Over to Bridget Dahl. Just gets by Bridget Dahl. And Lisbon with the control. Sends it down to 15, Alicia Felt. And the ball will go out. Felt gave up on it. And it will be Shawnee Trombley with the throw-in. Calvin, your thoughts? 22 minutes into the game, or left into the first half, I should say. Your thoughts so far?
I'm glad we're inside out of the rain, Joey.
Words of wisdom from Calvin. He's always good for words of wisdom, and I'm just happy he asked me to call the game with him. It saves me from being out in the elements also. It is a wet game out there. There's a lot of umbrellas up in the stands. And if you didn't hear Charlene there, she's a little partial. She's looking for a push, but that's our uncolored commentator, Charlene Baker's all for her. She's all Chazy. No medium ground here. Right, Charlene?
No medium ground.
You heard it. We're having fun here at Potsdam State.
Nothing at all.
You heard Charlene. We're here to have fun here in Potsdam State. And it is a clear out by Bridget Dahl. Just clears it out of the box. Throw in for Lisbon. Trying to hit number 19, Kim Matthews. And Matthews taken down by Dana Ledoux. And it actually wasn't Matthews, it was Alicia Felt. Taken down by Dana Ledoux.
You better pick on someone there.
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
It is a corner kick. Rhiannon Fletcher. She is the goal scorer for Lisbon. She has 70 points this year. She is clearing the ball right now for Lisbon. A nice cross into the box, and a nice header out by number 14, Madeline Gay. And Madeline Gay clears it off to the side, which is a good play. That's what you have to do. Bridget Dahl looks like she's hurt a little bit on the play, but it is a throw-in for Lisbon. Number 8, Jessica Mahaffey throws it in. Victoria Reynolds, the ball's taken away from her. Shawnee Trombley. Shawnee Trombley pushes her down from behind. It will be a direct kick for Rhiann Fletcher. Rhiann Fletcher trying to get in the box. Caitlin Halley calling direction in the box for the Chazy defense. Ball goes toward the net, but it's wide. Casey Oles was there the whole way, and it will be a goal kick for Chazy. The wind is picking up right now. It was kind of down when we first started the game, and the wind has picked up. The rain's still coming down pretty heavy, as you can see the mud puddles here, or if you want to call them mud puddles, the puddles on the tarmac. And we're comfortably in Marcy Hall, or Maxey Hall, in Potsdam, calling this game. You might see some drips on the window. That's because we have a nice window protecting us from the elements at this point. We're 19 and a half minutes here into the first half left to go in the first half. Chazy is ahead 1-0 on a Madeline or a Bridget Dahl header from Helen Giroux. Chazy has had 3 shots on net to 0 for Lisbon. Lisbon comes into this game with an 18-1 record. Chazy comes in with a 19-0 record. And it's been a very well-played game by both teams so far here into the first half. We're deep into the Lisbon end with Helen Drew rushing to get the ball, but it's cleared out. And the ball will go out. It will be a Chazy throw-in. And we're looking at Shawnee Trombley with the throw-in for Chazy. She tried to hit Dana Ledoux, but a good defensive play by the Lisbon defender. And the ball is cleared up into the Chazy zone. Oh, nice shield from number 19, Bridget Dahl. Pushes it over to Shawnee Trombley, who keeps it in. And she pushes it up to number 12, it would be Morgan Rusey. Rusey going down the line, was taken down, no call, but pushes it up to Shawnee Trombley, cleared out by a Lisbon defender. Shawnee Trombley deep in the Lisbon end, trying to hit number 14, Madeline Gay. She does. Madeline Gay with the ball. Tries to send it toward the box and clear it out, controlled by Lisbon. But being challenged by Madeline Gay, a hustling Madeline Gay, over to Dana Ledoux, back to Shawnee Trombley. Shawnee Trombley will go in deep on the left side into the Lisbon end, but knocked away by a Lisbon defender. Shawnee Trombley goes down deep, trying to find Morgan Rusey. Ball's knocked out, and Chazy throwing Shawnee Trombley again. She tries to go more toward the center. Madeline Gay has a heavy shot from out there. Oh, a nice save on a wet field. Calvin, anything can happen from out there.
The ball skips. It plays it a little different when it's raining, even if you're on the turf.
Well, at the halfback positions, we've seen Madeline Gay with some bullets for shots this year find the back of the net, as well as Bridget Dahl stepping up with some very strong shots back around the 20-25 yard line. So with a wet field, if they get those shots on net, you never know what can happen. But we're 17 minutes and 15 seconds here into the first half. It seems to be getting darker here, and it's only about noontime, or if that. But we were very...
Also sitting through a tinted glass, so that...
Well, that's true too. Yeah, we do have a tinted glass too, so that does add to it. But there's definitely a complete 100% cloud cover right now, and the rain's really coming down now, Calvin. Ball's cleared to the right side. That would have been Madeline Gay pushing it up for number 23, Austri Kempinen, but it was a little too far, and it'll be a throw-in for Lisbon. A couple subs coming in for Lisbon right now. 15 is going out. Alicia Felt is getting a breather, as well as if she can turn her back, we'll let you know. I have no idea. But 2 subs in for Lisbon, and Chazy has the ball at the midfield mark. It's a throw-in controlled by Lisbon. Number 11, Danielle Winters, pushes it to the center. Shawnee Trombley sends it back to midfield, headed toward Caitlin Halley. Halley pushes it over to Madeline Gay, and it's pushed back to right now, that'd be Samantha Levine. Goes right over to Austria-Kempinen, but a little too far. It'll be a throw-in for Lisbon. Lisbon into the Chazy end with a throw-in right now. Number 16, Rachel Bowdish. Ball is being contested at midfield, but controlled by Lisbon. Throw-in for Chazy. It will be number 22, Caitlin Halley, for Chazy with the throw-in. And she's trying to get Kempinen. Kempinen has the ball right now, pushes it up to Madeline Gay. Madeline Gay pushes it on the right side, but knocked back to midfield. And Brittany Goodrow controls the ball for Chazy. She goes left side, trying to hit Morgan Rusi, and it's a push on Rusi. It'll be Lisbon, indirect kick for Lisbon in their own end, going toward the Chazy side. We are now under the 15-minute mark. Our uncolored commentator, Charlene Baker, does not like the call, but that's more emotions than reality. Her heart's on that call. It's not a reality call. It was definitely a push by Rusi. Okay, the ball, I'm being contested on that, but that's okay. We're on the right-hand side right now with Lisbon controlling the ball. Deep in their end, they push it over to a little too far for number 18, which would have been Mackenzie Walker. It got by her for a Chazy throw-in. Caitlin Halley with the throw-in for Chazy. It looks like subs Victoria Reynolds back into the game, and it looks like Austria-Kempinen coming off. And, oh boy. 17, Liz Kennedy is in for Lisbon. And I'll tell you if I get the number for... it looks like 24. It looks like Morgan Beldock off for Lisbon. Lisbon with the throw-in. 14 minutes to go here into the first half. Chazy with a 1-0 lead on a Bridget Dahl header from Helen Giroux. 1-0 Chazy. They have 4 shots to 0. But there's a rush from Lisbon, controlled by Lisbon. Chazy trying to clear it out. Goodrow disrupts the ball. Dana Ledoux has the ball, trying to push it out. She does, and wisely pushes it out for a throw-in instead of a corner kick. And that's the senior leadership that Chazy has on their defense, Calvin.
Well, look at that flag. You can tell there's some wind out there, Joy.
Yeah, we have a stiff wind coming from our right to left. I checked the weather.com coming down here, and they said it'd be east-southeast winds up to 12 to 15 miles an hour. And it looks like those winds have arrived. And a shot wide of the net, and Casey Olds will set up for the goal kick. We're back at the action right now. Dangerous play. Lisbon looking to set up. Good defensive play. There's a collision. Madeline Gay was down. Number 4, Rianne Fletcher down, trying to get up. She does not want the coach to take her off. She is a stellar player for Lisbon, 32 goals and 6 assists. She is one of the main offensive weapons for Lisbon. She does not want to come off the field, and any true trooper like that will not want to come off. She's a gladiator, obviously, for Lisbon, and she wants to stay in, and the coach obliges. And Rianne Fletcher will stay in the game, as will Madeline Gay. 2 very good players on opposite teams for Chazy and Lisbon. We're at midfield, and Lisbon will have the kick toward the Chazy end. It was a light kick controlled by Lisbon. And they're saying a push on Helen Giroux. It will be probably a direct kick for Lisbon. Casey Olds sets up into the net. And here comes the kick. A deep shot, a dangerous, but Brittany Goodrow heads it out of the box. And the ball sent back in toward Allison Felt. She's heading the ball, but Dana Ledoux is guarding her. And Dana just knocks it off to the left. No corner kick. It will be a throw-in. Felt throws it in, but controlled by Victoria Reynolds. Reynolds for Chazy, being bumped by Jessica Mahaffey. Control for the ball kept in, but number 4, Rianne Fletcher, has the ball. She pushes it back over to Felt. Felt being challenged by Ledoux. The play goes, it would be a dangerous play called on Dana Ledoux, and it will be an indirect kick for Lisbon with the ball going in, and Olds had the ball and being bumped by number 11, Danielle Winters. That was their best chance.
They're calling something.
But it looks like a push on Winters, and they will have an indirect kick, almost like a goal kick. The girls are a little confused on what the call was, but it was a push on Winters, a push on the goalie. And Caitlin Halley sends it up to the left side. The ball is cleared out by number 4, Rianne Fletcher. Throw in by ARF number 4, Shawnee Trombley. Shawnee Trombley goes down. Rianne Fletcher's picked up her intensity. She has it out of bounds. Shawnee Trombley will try to go down the line again, trying to hit Victoria Reynolds, but controlled by Rianne Fletcher. Fletcher's taken down, looking for the call. No call to be had. The ball cleared out, and Chazy throw in. Dana Ledoux for Chazy. Pushes over to Shawnee Trombley, or not being challenged. Controlled. Shawnee Trombley gets by one player. She makes the move, has some space, sends it up. And it's kind of loose right now, but controlled by Lisbon, but being challenged by Victoria Reynolds. Reynolds gets it up to Helen Giroux, but it's cleared out to midfield. And 14, which would be Madeline Gay, tried to clear it up to Helen Giroux, but it was knocked away. Lisbon with the ball, being challenged by Bridget Dahl. Out to the left side to Victoria Reynolds. She keeps it in. No, they called it out. It will be a throw-in for Lisbon. We're now down to the 10-minute mark. 30 minutes have gone by. Chazy leads 1-0. They've outshot Lisbon 4 shots to 2. But it's been relatively an even-played game up to this point, Calvin.
Yes, except for that one goal. It's a 50-50 game, and just putting the ball in the right place at the right time is sometimes the difference, and it only has to happen once.
That is true, and it looks like Helen Giroux took down one of their players. No, it was a trip. My uncolored commentator, Charlene Baker, corrected me on that. Thank you very much, Charlene. Off-color, that's what it's. Off-colored commentator, Charlene Baker. The ball is toward the net, cleared out to midfield, and Bridget Dahl sends it to the left side. Over to an on-Russian Victoria Reynolds, who could not get to it. It goes out, and it'll be a Lisbon throw-in with 9 minutes to go here into the first half. Chazy will control. And Madeline Gay pushes over left side, trying to hit Shawnee Trombley, but a little too far, and it will be a Lisbon throw-in. Ball headed up toward midfield. Controlled by Lisbon, but being contested by Madeline Gay. And out of nowhere comes Dana Ledoux to send it over crossfield. And Bridget Dahl, she won't back down from anybody. She wins that ball. Ball is sent in toward the Lisbon net. A bunch of swarming Chazy players, but controlled by Lisbon. They send it past midfield. Brittany Goodrow controls it, tries to one-time it over to Dana Ledoux. And we're into the box. You got to watch out for Fletcher. She's dangerous. But Caitlin Halley is there to knock the ball away. A good no call there. It was just a good hard play by both players. Ball is cleared out. And Chazy is known for that tough defense with Halley, Ledoux, Dahl, and Goodrow back there. And then if they get by them, you have Casey Oles, who's only given up 4 goals all year long. And 3 of those goals, Calvin, were to Keene, and they got their revenge with Keene into the championship game in the regional.
Or all three of those goals couldn't have been in the same game, were they?
Yeah, they were. It was a 4-3 game. It was a messy night of soccer, and give Keene a lot of credit. They had a 3-1 lead into the second half, and Chazy came back to tie the game and win it in overtime, but it was 3 goals in 1 game.
They've only how many have they given up?
4 goals all season in 19 games.
Okay, so that's 17 shutouts, and that's right, 16 and a half of them belong to Olds.
And a lot of credit goes to that stellar defense from Chazy. But right now the ball is in the Chazy end. Cleared up, but goes out of bounds. Dana Ledoux will take the throw in for Chazy. Going down the line, trying to find Victoria Reynolds. Controlled by Lisbon. Ball is sent up toward the box. Should have been a hand. No hand called. They did see it. Handball called on Danielle Winters. An indirect for Chazy at their own 18-yard line. Caitlin Halley to take the kick for Chazy. She goes right to midfield trying to find Helen Drew. She does. Drew pushes it back to Madeline Gay. Madeline Gay tries to push it over. She does, over to Austri Kempinen. It just gets by Kempinen. There's a Lisbon defender on the play. She'll just boot it out to try to get the defense to set back up and let Chazy get the throw in. Samantha Levine throws the ball in toward the center of the field. cleared out by Lisbon. Bridget Dahl with the ball. A tough player. She will contest every play near her. But Lisbon controls the ball to the left side. Or their left side, I should say. It's cleared up. Caitlin Halley is being contested. She pushes it out toward the line, trying to get by the Lisbon defender, and number 17, Liz Kennedy, knocks it out for Lisbon. We're just under 6 minutes here into the first half. Chazy leading 2-1. The game has been pretty well evenly played. Maybe even a little bit of an edge for Lisbon in the Chazy end, but real no danger to speak of as far as shots on nets for Lisbon. But the territorial play, they've been very solid, but no big chances at this stage of the game. We're back to midfield, and Bridget Dahl has it to midfield over to Shawnee Trombley has the ball. And it's clear. Caitlin Halley is there, pushes it up to Madeline Gay. A nice little touch from Madeline Gay over to Helen Drew. Helen Drew gets the ball. There's 2 players on her at all time, and rightly so. She's the all-time leading scorer in the region for Chazy with 121 goals this year. A push on Lisbon. It will be a direct kick for Chazy. Helen Drew will take the kick. She has a very strong kick, and I'm sure she'll send it toward the goalie, and there'll be an on-Russian Madeline Gay, Shawnee Trombley, Austri Kempinen looking to put the header in. Just a little too far. Oh! The ball comes out of the hands of Bridget Teal.
Yes.
And let's see who got that one. I'm thinking it was
Ben's gonna go listen.
Madeline Gay.
I think.
We think it's Madeline Gay. We're seeing who's getting all the hugs here. And it's either Madeline Gay or Bridget Dahl. I gotta admit, I get those two confused with their blonde hair out there and their ponytails flopping around. So it's going to be one or the other. But it's Madeline Gay or Bridget Dahl. I'm being told to put my glasses on, but between this tinted glass and the raindrops, it's hard to say. Not sure it was either Bridget Dahl or Madeline Gay. Bridget Dahl or Madeline Gay just scored the second goal. Was it Madeline Gay?
That's my guess. We'll check it at the half.
All right. Calvin's saying Madeline Gay. I'm saying Bridget Dahl. We'll find out at the half. It's 2-0 Chazy. Bridget Teal. The ball came in. The ball was wet. We talked about this earlier in the game. It can be dangerous. It slipped out of her hands, and one of the girls put it away, either Gay or Dahl. We'll let you know at the half.
Kicking on Bridget now.
The ball is knocked off of Goodrow, and it will be a corner kick for Lisbon. 4 minutes left in the first half. Chazy with a 2-0 lead. Giving up 4 goals all year, Calvin, you would think that would be safe, but in these conditions, nothing's safe.
No, and what you did yesterday has nothing to do with what you're doing today.
That's exactly right. And just like that, the ball gets through, and Lisbon, the Golden Knights, come roaring back. There was a scramble at front. Deflected away. I'm not sure who scored.
They said it was Madeline from Helen.
Okay, it was Madeline Gay who did score the goal. And number 11, Danielle Winters, and she has 3 goals and 4 assists this year. And she cuts the lead in half, and just as we were talking about it, Calvin, boom, the Golden Knights come and score.
Well, I think you definitely jinxed them, Joey. But it's a wet day. We've seen in maybe 15 minutes ago where Chazy had a couple of the throw-ins that just slipped out of the girls' hands. And if it can happen on a throw-in, it can certainly happen on a goal shot. And that when they scored on Teal, that's what happened. They had to slip through her fingers on this very wet day. And it's cold. I know it was 40 degrees when I went through Malone. I don't know what it was when you went through, but it's chilly out there besides the wind and the rain.
There's no doubt about it. It was about 42 degrees when I got here, and I'm sure that the temperatures have dropped with this wind. So you have the wind chill factor you have to factor in there. But we're under 4 minutes to go. It's 2-1. Lisbon was very opportunistic on that play. There was a deflection out front, and number 11, Danielle Winters, took advantage of it and put the ball in the back of the net and cut the lead in half. Chazy with a 2-1 lead here in the first half. I think at this point, Chazy would probably be happy to get out of the half with a 2-1 lead.
I think you're right.
But right now we're back to the action, and it looks like a handball on Levine, and it was. It will be a kick, an indirect kick for Lisbon. at about midfield. They set it right about midfield. And here comes the ball coming toward the net. Number 11, Danielle Winters, heads it toward the center. Austri Kempinen controls the ball. She moves away. Helen Drew goes to the center, but the ball goes too far from her, controlled by Lisbon. They clean it out to the right side, out of bounds, throw in for Chazy. Shawnee Trombley for the throw in. We do have a sub coming in. Morgan Russi going in for, it looks like Samantha Levine. And Morgan Russi is in the game for Levine. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go here into the first half. Chazy with a 2-1 lead. And Shawnee Trombley with the ball being challenged by the Lisbon players. And it's cleared into the Chazy end. It should go out of bounds. It is. It'll be a Dana Ledoux throw in. And it is off of Victoria Reynolds. Lisbon throw in. Shawnee Trombley controls, pushes it over to Victoria Reynolds. And controlled by Lisbon. Madeline Gay tries to push it over to Shawnee Trombley, but cleared out by Lisbon. It will be a Chazy throw in with Dana Ledoux throw in for Chazy. Victoria Reynolds sends it to the center of the field toward the box. There's 3 or 4 players back. They're trying to contain Helen Giroux. But that is Austri Kempinen with the ball right now. Morgan Russi trying to push it up to Kempinen. She's still battling for the ball. Russi sends it up toward Shawnee Trombley, lets a shot go. Ball comes off the hands of Teal. We've seen that a couple times here in the first half. That ball is very hard to hang on to, Calvin.
Well, what she did there was deflect it rather than try to catch it and have it slip through her fingers. She wanted to keep it in front of her, and she knew she wasn't being challenged with somebody directly on her, so she had time to do that.
We're back into the Chazy end. It's cleared out by Brittany Goodrow back toward midfield. And the ball is loose, and number 15 heads it, Alicia Felt, controlled by Lisbon. Rhiann Fletcher has it knocked away. And it will be number 8, Jessica Mahaffey, or Jessie Mahaffey for Lisbon. And the ball is knocked out by Fletcher.
You notice the score clock, Joey, is stopped at 2 minutes. Now the time is being kept by that third official, and he'll tell you when the period is over.
That's very observant, Calvin. I thought we were just into stoppage time, as they like to say during the stoppage time. When you watch the World Cup, that's all you heard was stoppage time. But it's the officials have the time right now, the last 2 minutes. And Chazy has the ball in the Lisbon end, and Teal will come out and get the ball, and she will punt the ball toward midfield. She's at her 18, and yes, she punts it toward midfield. Number 15, Alicia Felt with the ball. And that's the half. We have made it to halftime. We'll have a 10-minute break. Chazy leads 2-1 on a Madeline Gay and a Bridget Dahl goal. Both assists from Helen Giroux, and Lisbon cuts the lead in half with about 5 minutes left in the half, and it's 2-1 at the half, Chazy. Got that music, that could probably be turned down. All right, we're back for the second half. We're about 2 minutes into it. We lost 2 minutes. The Potsdam State faculty were very, very nice to us. They brought us up to a third floor level away from where we were, and we're protected from the rain hitting the windows here. So hopefully you have a much clearer view of the game. So we lost the first 2 minutes or so, but Chazy, to get you back to where we are, it's 2-1 Chazy here in the second half. A goal by Madeline Gay and Bridget Dahl, both assisted by Helen Giroux, and Lisbon came back late in the second half to cut it in half. If you hear the noise in the background, we are actually on the third floor. It's their fitness center, and there's people working out. We have music in the background, and Calvin is in between a bunch of dumbbells, and we're calling the game here. So it's actually quite a neat setup for us to call this game. It's a much better view from where we were, and hopefully we can give you a much better, clearer picture of who has the ball and what's going on. And right there you saw Allison Felt clear the ball up toward midfield. We are in Lisbon end with Shawnee Trombley controlling the ball, and it makes a nice move by number 13, Allison Felt, but the ball was knocked away by Danielle DeSales. She sends it up to number 15. It will be Alicia Felt, and cleared out by Chazy. And a throw-in, number 2, Danielle DeSales for Lisbon with the throw-in into the Chazy end. And the ball is knocked away, controlled by Chazy, but back to Lisbon. And it looks like Caitlin Halley sends it up to midfield, but controlled by Lisbon, who sends it back into Chazy end, and it's cleared back from Chazy, back toward the midfield, but controlled by Lisbon. Lisbon with control. It looks like Dana Mahaffey with the ball. And the ball is open right now, and there's a dangerous shot toward the net, but it only makes it to about the 18-yard line and headed out by Dana Ledoux. Ball's cleared to the right-hand side here and picked up by Victoria Reynolds. She tries to keep it in, but it goes out, and controlled throw-in for Lisbon with Allison Felt with the throw-in, but controlled by Shawnee Trombley. Sends it to midfield. And Austri Kempinen controls the ball. She's looking to find somebody to pass it to. It's Austri Kempinen with the ball. She sends it in, and a good defensive play. The ball just misses going to Helen Giroux, and a good defensive play by Dana Mahaffey for Lisbon. Well, Calvin, how do you feel about shooting the game up here?
It's very musical. It's a good view. It's a nice clear window. That helps a lot. And being in the midst of a bunch of dumbbells is nothing new for me.
Now my Helen Giroux just rips a shot off the goalpost, out of bounds, the crossbar I should probably say, out of bounds, and it will be a goal kick for Lisbon, and they dodged the bullet on that one. Helen Giroux is usually deadly from in that range, and she nailed the crossbar out of bounds. Well, the ball goes back to Chazy. And it looks like Madeline Gay with the ball. She sends it back toward the box, and Teal gets the ball for Lisbon. She's at the 18, and she'll punt the ball left side. It was an errant punt. It looks like it might find its way out of bounds. And it does. It looked like Samantha Levine tried to control the ball, and it was off Samantha Levine into the Lisbon hands for a throw-in. Lisbon is hustling very well today. Everywhere there's a Chazy player, there's a Lisbon player. And number 3, Shelby Seguin, tries to push it up and knocked away. Austri Kempinen tries to hit Helen Giroux. And number 6, Dana Mahaffey, is there for Lisbon. She goes up to Rianne Fletcher. Fletcher has been quiet this game. Well, actually, we didn't find out who scored that goal. It could have... Or we did find out it was Winters, but Fletcher has not scored yet, but she is one of the goal scorers. And we're back into the Lisbon end, and the ball is trying to be sent to the right side from Austri Kempinen to Helen Giroux, and it's cleared out. Helen Giroux has been kept off the board here in the second half, or in the whole game, as far as goals go, but it's been her assists that have got them 2 goals, one on a corner kick and one on a direct kick toward the net that eluded Teal and went into Madeline Gay's foot, and she put the ball into the net. And Chazy has that 2-1 lead. Again, I'm Joey Trombley calling this game with Calvin Castine on the camera. We've lost our off-colored commentator, Charlene Baker. She's still down at the lower floor. She didn't get a press pass like Calvin and I did to come up here on the 3rd floor. But the ball is dangerously in the Chazy end right now, and it goes off a Lisbon defender or attacker out of bounds. And I'm not sure who that was. It might have been Liz Stiles for Lisbon. Throw in Chazy. Ball is still in play. Sent toward the midfield. And number 13, Allison Felt, makes a nice move and pushes it off to the wing. Number 17, Liz Kennedy with the ball, makes a nice move by one Chazy defender. It's knocked away. The ball is sent in just over the head of Danielle Winters, who already has 1 goal in this game so far. And it will go out of bounds. And what do we got here? It was off a Chazy defender. It's a throw-in for Lisbon. I will say this, Charlene Baker at the half said it would be a 2-1 Chazy victory, that no one else would score. We'll see if she's true to form or not with her prediction, but as a Chazy fan, that's what we hope for. Well, we have 32 minutes to go here in the game, and on a wet field, windy conditions, temperatures dropping, anything can happen. We've seen that on a couple goals so far here in the first half. But the ball is in the Chazy end, and it's cleared out by Hallie. Wisely clears it out. It'll be a throw-in for Lisbon. And there's some substitutes coming in now for Lisbon. We're back to the action. The throw-in is there. And Samantha Levine clears it out on the right side. Ball is sent in toward the box, cleared out by Chazy to the center, but controlled by Lisbon. Way right side, Lisbon has the ball, pushes it back to set up. Number 2, Danielle DeSales, sends it toward the Chazy end, but headed back by, it looks like Bridget Dahl. Victoria Reynolds with the ball, but being contested. One thing I've noticed, Calvin, is that the Chazy offensive players are contested on every play.
They know who to mark, and they're marking them tight.
Lisbon is playing a very strong game right now. They are trailing 2-1, but territorial, I would probably say they have the edge so far with the first half, and even in here into the second half a little bit. But it's been evenly well played back and forth. Chazy just has the better scoring opportunities, and that's why they lead 2-1 at this point. But it's been a great game so far, and you'd kind of expect that when you're going with a team that comes into this game, the Lisbon Golden Knights, with an 18-1 record. Chazy comes in with a 19-0-0 record, no blemish, number 1 ranked state team in New York State. So you'd kind of expect a good game, and that's what we're seeing right now. And the shot goes wide right on the direct kick, and it will be a goal kick for Chazy. Hallie will take the kick for Chazy. Ooh, a dangerous play there. Tried to push it up to Madeline Gay. It was almost intercepted. Gay clears it out to midfield. It's back to Gay. And midfield, and Mahaffey sends it back toward the Chazy end. Helen Giroux with the ball, trying to make a move. Helen Giroux has 2 people on her at all times, controlling. She has the ball controlled. Sends it up toward Victoria Reynolds. Reynolds being challenged. The ball should go out for a corner kick. It is. The ball is off number 2, Shelby Seguin. Helen Giroux on a corner kick. Chazy scored early in the first half. Helen Giroux on a corner kick on a beautiful header by Bridget Dahl to give Chazy the 1-0 lead early in the first half. They get another opportunity here. Dahl does work her way up into the box, and Helen Giroux with the kick. Giroux sends a nice shot, almost pitched same play as before, right to Dahl, but this time she headed it wide right. Victoria Reynolds gives chase, trying to control the ball. She makes a nice move by 2 defenders, but Lisbon does control. And Bridget Dahl sends it back in toward the net, cleared out to the left-hand side, off number 23, Austri Kempenen's head. It will be a throw-in for Lisbon with number 17, Liz Kennedy with the throw-in. Play is being contested, and the ball is knocked out by Samantha Levine. We're at 28 minutes, 44 seconds left here in the second half. Chazy with a 2-1 lead in the Lisbon end, putting pressure on it this time, even though Lisbon controls the ball right now, but again being challenged. And Mahaffey clears it out from Madeline Gay. Gay can be dangerous if she has the ball inside the 18. Ball is cleared up, controlled by Lisbon, and Shawnee Trombley knocks the ball away. Oh, I'm not sure about that call. Number 7, Jessica Lee Hollis, runs by Bridget Dahl and falls down. I didn't see a push there, but they get the call. And Lisbon controls the ball. They go down the right-hand side, and it will go out of bounds. Throw in for Chazy. It looks like Shawnee Trombley or Dana Ledoux will take the throw in, and it will be Dana Ledoux for Chazy with the throw in. Dana Ledoux up toward Victoria Reynolds off a Lisbon defender, and the Chazy will move the ball up the sideline just by throw-ins. Ball's head back toward the center of the field, and Madeline Gay sends it up toward Helen Giroux. Drew trying to make the move, but a nice play by Maheffy's been playing Drew very well this game. And Shawnee Trombley trying to control, but it's knocked away. Number 4, Rianne Fletcher. You have to watch out for her for Lisbon. She is the goal scorer for the Golden Knights of Lisbon, but she's been contained so far in this game. Shawnee Trombley trying to make the move around the defender, and Fletcher with the ball, being challenged by Trombley. And number 3, Shelby Seguin, comes up and sends the ball in toward the 18-yard line. It looks like Brittany Goodrow clears it out to the right side, trying to keep it in. Good hustle by Goodrow to keep the ball away from the net and push it on the outside. It will be a throw-in for Lisbon. They have 3 players subbing in right now. It's very hard to tell who's coming in for Lisbon right now, but I see number 11, and that would be Danielle Winters, and she had the first goal for Lisbon late in the second half to cut the lead to 2-1. Chazy with a 2-1 lead. We're at the 26-minute, 35-second mark here in the second half. Ball is in the Chazy end right now. Chazy looking to clear, and it's just out. There's a dangerous shot toward the net, but it's wide. And good shield by Dana Ledoux. It will, no, it's off. Yes, it is. Okay, it is a goal kick, I think. Nope. It is, an injury. Okay, we have an injury right now. There was some confusion whether it was a goal kick or a corner kick. It is a Lisbon corner kick. It will be on our right side as you're watching this game. On the right side, Lisbon with the corner kick. Always dangerous. And a nice shot toward the center. It gets by Casey Old's hands, and luckily it got away from everybody. But the ball is being contested right now, and Chazy will win the ball. It was knocked out by a Lisbon player. Good hustle. It looked like Astrid Kempinen over on the far side for Chazy. And somebody just came off for Chazy. I'm not sure what happened there as far as subbing goes. But Kempinen with the ball tries to push it up to Helen Giroux. Ball sent to midfield, controlled by Lisbon. Lisbon doing some nice pass work right now. It goes back to midfield. Shawnee Trombley trying to control the ball. She's a strong, athletic player for Chazy. And won by Lisbon on the right-hand side. Number 15, Alicia Feltz, going for the ball. She wins it. Goes over to number 4, Rianne Fletcher. And it looks like Madeline Gay took down the Lisbon defender, which would have been Dana Maheffy, is what it looks like. And it will be a direct kick from about 25 yards out. Chazy setting up a wall. There's a danger shot. It does go wide. And goal kick for Chazy. Calvin, whenever you get those direct kicks that close in these conditions, it can be dangerous. We've seen it earlier.
They're dangerous enough in the perfect weather conditions, so it just adds to the danger when you get this kind of weather.
Well, Chazy with the goal kick right now. It'll be Caitlin Halley tries to send it up, and Fletcher heads it over to Winters, but controlled by, it looks like Morgan Rusi, who pushes it up over to Astrid Kempinen. Kempinen being challenged by number 4, Rianne Fletcher. And there was a collision, and the call goes in Chazy's favor. It looks like a push on Fletcher, and Chazy will get the kick here. The indirect kick deep in their end. It looks like Caitlin Halley, she sends it back to midfield, and the ball is controlled by Lisbon. Sent up, ball is knocked away to center field around the 18. A nice move, looks like Bridget Dahl tries to send it back to midfield, but controlled by Lisbon. Ball is sent up. And 24 for Morgan Beldock for Lisbon with the ball, but controlled by Chazy. It looks to be Madeline Gay with the ball. She pushes it back to Shawnee Trombley. Gay with the ball, trying to go toward the net too far, and Bridget Teal comes out and gets the ball, and she'll punt at the 18 toward the midfield. It doesn't make it, and the ball is headed by Madeline Gay to the right side, or left side I should say, but controlled by Lisbon. Lisbon, Rianne Fletcher makes a nice move. She goes wide left, a beautiful pass from Fletcher to, it looks like Winters, who has that first goal. And Winters has proven she can find the back of the net, so she's a dangerous player for Lisbon, and she has 3 goals and 4 assists this year for a total of 10 points. Not spectacular stats to speak of, but she can find the back of the net when called upon. And the ball gets away from a Lisbon defender. Here comes Helen Giroux. She's a fast player for Chazy, trying to get away. Shielded nicely. Giroux has the ball. She is taken down in the box. No whistle. Giroux gets up slowly. Can't believe there was no call. She has a little limp to her, but she looks like she's hurt a little bit. But she'll walk it off. Ball's back into the 18. It gets through. And Teal gets the ball for Lisbon. We are 22 minutes left here into the game in the second half. Chazy still with a 2-1 lead. Charlene Baker's prediction could be true. We've played 18 minutes and nobody has scored. She said the score would stay the same. And one thing that I'm impressed with, Calvin, is the pass work of the Lisbon players.
Like the Eagles, they're very well coached. They moved that ball well. And on that last play, I think Helen was trying to draw a call there. I think she kind of initiated that contact.
That could very well be. She came over the players' back trying to get through them. And you're right, and it was probably a good no call, especially in a game of this magnitude. You got to be almost certain that it's a genuine takedown within the box. You hate to see a game decided by penalty kicks.
Well, this is a game where the winner goes to the Final Four, so this is any playoff game is important, but here you get a trip to the Final Four, and there's something magic about going there, and the Eagles want to be back there again this year.
Well, the Chazy Lady Eagles have been there 3 of the last 4 years. They were there last year. They got beat in the semifinals, and they're just dying to get back in there again. They want to prove something, and they do have the team that can do it. Chazy is in the box, and Madeline Gay pushes it over to Astrid Kempinen. And it will be a corner kick for throw-in for Chazy. Number 12, Morgan Rusi with the throw-in, trying to find Madeline Gay, but Rianne Fletcher, very aggressive, but is taken down by Madeline Gay, and it will be a indirect kick deep in the Lisbon zone going toward the Chazy net. We're now approaching the 20-minute mark here. The game is 20 minutes away from being done. The game did start late today. With thunder and lightning in November 11th, Veterans Day, we had thunder and lightning. So anytime that happens, you have to stop play for 30 minutes to give the weather a chance to clear. And then they came back and they had 20 minutes worth of warm-ups to do. So the game was delayed probably for about an hour total, if you will. But we're back at it now. You have Colton Pierpont boys after this game looking to play the Elizabethtown Lions, and the E-Town beat Chazy in the regional final, and then they beat Fort Anne in the play-in, if you will, of the state tournament, and they win that game. So the winner of the Colton Pierpont game and the Elizabethtown Lion game goes on to the Final Four as well. So a lot at stake for both teams here, girls and boys, the girls of Chazy and the boys of E-Town as far as Section 7 goes. But if Section 10 has anything to say about it, they will. But right now, Section 7 has control with a 2-1 lead. Chazy leading Lisbon. Helen Giroux trying to get the ball. The ball is cleared back to midfield. Play is on, and Madeline Gay trying to head the ball. But Helen Giroux is being guarded very closely by Lisbon, and that, as Calvin said earlier, they're very well coached. They're moving the ball well. There was a push there on Victoria Reynolds. Dana Ledoux got taken down there in the back. And it will be a direct kick for Chazy just inside the Lisbon end of the field. And it's getting a little more physical as we get closer to the end, Calvin.
Well, it's a game that both teams have to win to keep going, and they're going to leave everything on the field, not taking anything off when they get done.
Well, I think if Chazy at this stage of the game, if they can get one more goal, I think that will seal their fate to the Final Four if they can score that goal. needless to say, the next goal is big for either team. If Lisbon scores the next goal, the game is tied, and if Chazy scores the next goal, they have a two-goal lead, which is huge. Russi is in the game right now, as well as Levine, and it looks like Victoria Reynolds is off the field for Chazy. Noah's Oshri Kempinen into the game right now. And Caitlin Halley giving chase. The ball is kept in. Halley chasing the ball. She gives it up for Madeline Gay. The whistle blows. And Rianne Fletcher felt she should have got the call, but she took the Chazy defender down. And it will be Chazy kick. Uh-oh. We have a little conversation. Nope. Just make sure there's 10 yards.
He's telling him not to complain when he makes the call, probably.
Well, one thing referees don't want to do is be shown up by any players out there. And you know, to his credit, there's no yellow card there. Just saying, hey, cool, I know it's a big game, but let's control our emotions and go out and play some soccer. And so if that's what he was doing, then it was definitely a good no call. We definitely support that call up here in the booth with Calvin on the camera and Joey on the mic here. But we're back to the 18-yard line, and number 7, Jessica Lee Hollis coming in, but Dana Ledoux, she's rock hard back there for Chazy, clears it out. And Sam Levine trying to clear it out, kept in by Lisbon. Lisbon controlling. Chazy just trying to clear it out right now, trying to regroup. And number 3, Shelby Seguin for Lisbon, but taken away by, it looks like Oshri Kempinen. Well, that would be Helen Giroux, my mistake. Giroux trying to get down by another player, knocked away. Number 19 for them is Kim Matthews for Lisbon. Madeline pushes it back to Morgan Russi. Russi trying to keep it in. It is off a Lisbon player, which would have been Kim Matthews. Throw in for Shawnee Trombley. Shawnee Trombley knocked away by a Lisbon defender out of bounds. It will be a Chazy throw in as they get closer to the Lisbon goal line. She tries to hit Morgan Russi, throws it toward the, and Morgan Russi cannot get the throw, and it was a little too far. It will be a goal kick. We're at 15 minutes and 50 seconds here into the second half. Lisbon is subbing in and subbing out. Number 7, Jessica Lee Hollis, comes out of the game for Lisbon, and I'm not quite sure who came in for Lisbon. When I see the number, I'll let you know. And that was number 17. That was Liz Kennedy back in the game for Lisbon. Bridget Dow pushes it back to Brittany Goodrow, who tried to go wide right to Dana Ledoux, but it was knocked out of bounds. Throw in for Lisbon. And Rianne Fletcher tries to take a pass, and it's off a Chazy defender. Throw in for Lisbon over to Fletcher. Fletcher with the ball, but being challenged. Trying to get by the line, and she makes a move by number 12, Morgan Russi. It goes to the center of the field, and Brittany Goodrow sends it up toward midfield. Helen Giroux trying to give chase. Helen Giroux gets by one defender. Helen Giroux tried to get by a second defender, and it was knocked away. And again, we're looking at Dana Mahaffey. She has played Helen Giroux tough all game today. Helen's had a couple of opportunities, but Mahaffey is there for Lisbon to keep Helen away from scoring a goal. The ball is thrown in, controlled by Chazy, now controlled by Lisbon. And Bridget Dow trying to control the ball, and knocked away by Caitlin Halley. Ball goes wide left, Samantha Levine giving chase, as well as number 11, Danielle Winters. And it will be Chazy throw-in number 22, Caitlin Halley for Chazy. We're hitting the 14-minute mark, and Coach Dumoulin is subbing in Victoria Reynolds for Morgan Russi. Chazy has a 2-1 lead. They actually have an 8-3 lead on shots on net. Chazy has 8 shots on net, 3 for Lisbon. So it's been a game that's been a lot of midfield play, Calvin.
11 shots total is not a lot of shots for this point in the game. It's been definitely been played between the 18s.
And I would probably say you give the edge to Lisbon. Do you see it that way?
Obviously, when you see the number of shots, the edge goes to Chazy. But yeah, I would say if you had to divide that field in half and say which end the ball has been at the most, I'd say it'd be at the Lisbon offensive end.
Yeah, I see it that way too. I mean, Chazy has definitely made more the most of their opportunities because they do have a lot of strikers on that team, and they do get the shots on net. But on a 50-50 ball, like Calvin said, 18-18, I would give a slight edge to Lisbon. Lisbon did not come here to roll over. They're 18-1. They are their regional champions, and they're in regional state play right now. And the winner of this, as Calvin said earlier, does go to the Final Four in Cortland. So a lot at stake. Chazy has been there 3 out of 4 years. There's nothing more than they'd like to get back there again. And they are favored. Being ranked number 1 in the state, I would say you're favored to win the state championship this year, Calvin.
Well, that looks nice on paper, but it's all done on the field.
Well, we know that all too well. The Elizabethtown Lion boys took out Chazy after their 54-game winning streak. A well-deserved win for Elizabethtown. They've been on Chazy's heels for the last 3 years. And you knew one day that they would break through, and they just happened to break through on the most important game for the Chazy boys. And like Calvin says, you got to play the games, and that's what you're doing here. And Chazy put in chase with Victoria Reynolds, though, but Mahaffey, she's a solid defensive player for Lisbon, Calvin.
Yep, she's certainly helped to contain Helen Giroux, but as we all know, Helen, not a selfish player. She'll make sure somebody else gets open and gets that goal if she's tied up.
Well, that's evident as she has 2 assists today. She has an assist for Madeline Gay and Bridget Dahl. The first one was a beautiful cross on a corner kick that Bridget Dahl just had a beautiful header in the upper right-hand corner. And then the other one was a direct kick in that went off the hands of Bridget Teal, the goalie for Lisbon. And Madeline Gay was there to put home the winner to give them a 2-0 lead. And then deep into the second half, it was number 11, Danielle Winters for Lisbon, cuts the lead into half at 2-1. So we're 2-1 here with a little over 11 minutes to go in the second half. Chazy leading 2-1. The winner of this goes to Cortland next weekend for the Final Four. And Chazy is ranked number 1 in the state. Lisbon, we are sure, has to be ranked with an 18-1 record. We aren't quite sure what their ranking is, but they are definitely a very formidable opponent today for Chazy. They did not come here to roll over and die, and I don't think any 18-1 team would come over into this game thinking they're going to roll over and die. So Chazy's had their hands full today, and right now we're at the midfield mark. Again, every ball, what I see, Calvin, whether they have the ball or we have the ball, every ball is being contested.
Nothing's easy out there today, Joey.
Well, and what tops that is that you have the weather conditions. Now, if you look at the puddles up here, it's coming down pretty hard. The wind is a stiff wind. The weather called for east-southeast winds at 12 miles to 15 miles an hour, and I think we're seeing that now. The temperatures are dropping. At halftime, the fans were coming in telling us it was definitely cold out there. But I'll tell you, they're diehard fans. They're lined up on the fences, and they're in the bleachers. They have their umbrellas out, and they're braving the conditions to watch this great battle between 2 very good teams, the Chazy Eagles and the Lisbon Golden Knights. And there's a push.
I hope our building's not on fire.
If we are, we're on the 3rd floor. Calvin, I see an exit route here, so I think we'll be okay. But hopefully we'll be okay. They're turning the other way, so we're all right. So we have whistles blowing, and actually it's the building next over, Calvin. You probably can't see it with your camera from your angle, but there's something going on the left-hand side. The fans are looking over there, so I'm not sure what's going on. But we're under almost to the 9-minute mark. And it's going to be a Chazy goal kick is what it looks like. A lot of times being killed on the clock right now, which is to Chazy's favor with a 2-1 lead. 8 shots to 4. Chazy with the advantage. Rian Fletcher with the header. She controls her own head ball, and she miskicks the ball, and it's looks like Madeline Gay with the ball. She is being contested, but they've been contested the whole game, but a nice move by Madeline Gay. She goes up to to Victoria Reynolds. It looks like they put Victoria Reynolds and Morgan Russi on the line and moved Helen Drew back to halfback to shake up the defense of Lisbon.
Well, what that'll do is if they keep marking Helen, they'll open up that front line. And, of course, with the lead late in the game, Joe Dumoulin wants to concentrate a little bit more on defense.
So what Chazy will have is actually the best of both worlds, with Helen Drew being a very strong soccer player, as we know, can do well on the defensive end. Plus, if they're going to double team her, that does open it up for Rusi or Reynolds on the line for Chazy. But right now, Rianne Fletcher has the ball, and it's knocked off a Chazy defender, headed by Shelby Seguin of Lisbon, controlled by Madeline Gay. She pushes it over to Shawnee Trombley, makes a nice move by a Lisbon defender, and she sends it up toward Victoria Reynolds. Reynolds going in toward the box. Reynolds gets by one defender. She's in the box right now, looking to do something, makes another nice move, and she sends the ball wide. Good effort by Victoria Reynolds, but she sends the ball wide, and it'll be a goal kick for Lisbon. We're down to 7.5 minutes. Chazy is 7.5 minutes from making another Final Four appearance. And the girls program is a very strong program in Chazy. A lot of community support. There's a lot of community here today to support these girls, and they've had a wonderful season so far, and it's nice to see the fan support from Chazy here. As we know, Chazy loves their soccer, and they're here rooting their girls on.
Yes, and when we were coming up here, Joey, I think you ought to relay to the viewers what was said about these Chazy girls.
Yeah, we had a very nice compliment from the person that runs this facility. She asked if we were calling the game for Chazy, and we said yes. And she went on to say that our girls are the most respectful, courteous girls, and was very, very pleased with their behavior. And the story she told was the girls all came on in the building, took their cleats off. They were in a classroom, and she had to have 4 tables, and all the girls jumped up to move the tables for her. And she had asked the girls, "Do you mind?" And the girls say, "No, we're here to please." And that says a lot about the Chazy girls. It says a lot about the coaching staff. It says a lot about the parents and the community. And it's a very warm feeling to hear that from outsiders about your players. And I told her I would definitely let the powers that be that know it. I will definitely get this message to Superintendent Kevin Mulligan. I will let the school board know how our girls presented themselves here at Potsdam State, and it's just a tribute to the character of these girls. They're wonderful, wonderful soccer players. They're wonderful, I'd hate to say kids, young ladies out there, and they do the community very, very proud. And Calvin on camera and Joey Trombley calling the game equally say that we're as proud of you as the rest of the community. So good job, girls, and we hope you do well here in the next 5 minutes and 34 seconds. And number 7 looked like a push on Jessica Lee Hollis, but she gets away with it, pushes it up, and this is dangerous. And whoa, boy, Rianne Fletcher, the high goal scorer for Lisbon, and it was Casey Oles for Chazy. It was a one-on-one battle won by Casey Oles. She punts the ball to midfield, and it looks like Ostry Kempinen on the right-hand side, or left-hand side, I should say. She sends it in trying to find Victoria Reynolds, but it's cleared out by a Lisbon defender, and it should be a throw-in for Chazy. And it is. Number 23, Ostry Kempinen, throws it into Morgan Rusi. Rusi with the ball. Sends it over to, and right now, Calvin, Coach Dumoulin has an 8th grader and 2 9th graders out on the front line.
Yeah, we all know we're losing Helen Drew and several other key players, but there's so much youth on this team that you have to say that the near future for Chazy looks very good.
Well, it says a lot for these 8th and 9th graders that the coach would, at a level of this game, would have the confidence in them to put them in the front line. And oh, Madeline Gay rips a shot just above the net at the 18-yard line. She's a dangerous goal scorer from way out, and she just misses. We missed earlier with Helen Drew hitting the crossbar, and Lisbon dodged 2 bullets here in the second half. The shots on net are 9-4 Chazy. They lead 2-1 Territorial. It's been about a 50-50 game, with Chazy having the better of the scoring chances. Chazy is 4 minutes away from going to another Final Four for the rich soccer tradition in Chazy, and I know the community will be very, very pleased when the cell phones start going off after this game, if they can hold this out to let everybody know back home, for the fans that could not make the game, that the girls will be going to Cortland next week. But they're 3 minutes and 30 seconds away. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but we're deep into Lisbon, and Morgan Rusi putting a lot of pressure on number 28, it looked like. which would have been Marcy Adams for Lisbon, knocked out by Lisbon. And Coach Dumoulin is doing some subbing right now, trying to kill a little bit of time, Calvin.
The clock is on his side, and a team that's ahead always finds a way to use it.
Well, Chazy's putting the pressure on. Like we said earlier, that should be dangerous. It is. Every play has been contested on both sides. A quick kick, and Bridget Teal is there with the ball in the save. She runs out to the 18 to punt the ball toward midfield. She does. It doesn't quite reach it there. The ball is headed by Bridget Dahl over to Samantha Levine, but controlled by Lisbon. Ball knocked out by Caitlin Halley. Time is on Chazy's side. They lead 2-1 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the second half. They are 2 minutes and 40 seconds away from a trip to Cortland. The pace of the game has picked up. Chazy working the ball inside to the Lisbon end. Madeline Gay trying to get open. Helen Giroux, she can be dangerous from back here. She's got the ball, pushes it back to Madeline Gay, back to Helen Giroux. A lot of good triangle working. There it is. A nice shot wide from Madeline Gay, but Gay to Giroux. Giroux back to Gay, back to Giroux, back to Gay, and Gay lets a low shot wide left of the goal, and it'll be a goal kick for Lisbon. We're hitting the 2-minute mark, and the clock will stop, and it'll be controlled by the refs, so we will have no idea what the time factor is. They control it on their clock. But we're under 2 minutes here now with Chazy with a 2-1 lead. Under 2 minutes, I should say. Lisbon throw in around midfield mark. Number 23 for them is Lydia Putney taking the throw in. Ball headed back to Lisbon. Chazy trying to control the ball. It's pushed into the Lisbon end. And it looks like Madeline Gay taking charge, and she's taken down. And it is a whistle, a trip on the Lisbon defender. It gives Chazy a chance to kill a little bit of time here. We're under 2 minutes. I'm guessing we're probably approaching about the minute mark right now. Chazy has a direct kick. They will take their time. Helen Giroux setting up. No big rush. What's that, Calvin?
It was a minute 10. We're approaching the minute in about 5 seconds.
About a minute 5. Calvin's keeping the clock, time on his clock. So about a minute. Yeah, it looks like delay of game is what it looks like. Helen Giroux has to come off the field when it's a yellow card. Coach Dumoulin is furious on the sideline. He calls over the referee to find out what is going on here. The third referee gave the explanation to Coach Dumoulin. He walks away. Helen Giroux is off. She's waiting for the first opportunity to go back into the game. And it looks like Madeline Gay to take the throw in. Morgan Rusi is in the game for Helen Giroux. And boy, this is getting bizarre at the end here, Calvin.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, why she got that delay of game. Obviously, the team with the lead is going to use up as much time as they can.
Well, Victoria Reynolds is in the game, and Morgan Rusi is out of the game. Actually, Shawnee Trombley just came into the game, so I'm not sure what the time is, but Madeline Gay does have a heavy foot. She sends it in deep, and it is, yes, off the hands of Teal, and Morgan Rusi comes into the game and puts the finishing touch in for Chazy, and Calvin, Chazy is going to the Final Four again.
There's less than a minute, just a little less than a minute when that occurred. Anytime you have a restart, that's the danger of a tremendous amount, a great percentage of the goals come on restarts, whether it be corner kicks or direct kicks or indirect kicks. A great percentage of goals come on restarts, and there's an example right there. And of course, the first goal was on a corner kick, and Lisbon's goal came on a corner kick. So.
Well, that's the second goal that has gone through the hands of Bridget Teal, and you got to feel for her. It's not easy conditions to play in. We've been saying that the whole game. Both goalies, it's dangerous. Those things can happen. It got through her hands, and Morgan Rusi, who had just checked into the game for Helen Giroux, put in the game winner. I would think it would be the game winner. I don't see Lisbon scoring 2 goals with less than a minute to go, but their number 1 player, Rian Fletcher, with the ball, passes it over, and the ball will go out of bounds, and we should be hearing the whistle any time right now. Chazy with a goal kick. And the rich tradition of Chazy girls soccer will continue as they will be in Cortland next weekend for the Final Four. Your thoughts on this game, Calvin?
Well, it was evenly played. 3-1 makes it look like it was more of an easy win for Chazy, but obviously those of us who are here braving this weather like we did, Joey, no different. We know how it really was on the field, and it was a very evenly played game.
Well, Calvin makes a joke of the weather. It is nasty out there, but we're lucky to be in the press box. But our press box is actually a big, huge gymnasium here on the 3rd floor on the campus of Potsdam State. They were very generous to give us this location to call the game for the second half. And I think the whistle has blown, and it is now official. Chazy will move on to the Final Four, and the players are out to congratulate themselves. The shots on net were 11-4, which were a little deceiving. They definitely had the better chances, but the 18 to 18 yard play was pretty well even. Chazy wins the game 3-1 on a Morgan Rusi, who scored the 3rd goal, Madeline Gay, and Bridget Dahl. In that order, reverse order, is how the scoring went for Chazy, and they win the game 3-1, and that's the way it was on Veterans Day, November 11th, 2006, at the campus of Potsdam State.
Forums because it's very libelous. Some of the stuff that's in the forums is not very.
Oh, really?
People.
Well, I've been to Syracuse.com to check their forum. And we're back for the awards presentation. And right now it looks like the captains are going up to get their plaque. That would be the regional title, I think, Calvin, as they call it. And they'll be going to the Final Four next weekend in Cortland. It's their 4th trip in 5 years. Chazy got beat pretty soundly last year in the semifinals, and that's been one of their goals, so to get back there and to prove that they belong. And when you're there 4 times out of 5 years, you definitely belong. There's no doubt about that. But they are ranked number 1 in the state right now, and they do feel they have something to prove. And they have something to prove in their own minds because the boys have 2 state titles right now, and the girls have always had a strong soccer program, and they feel they deserve a state title, and they do. They work very, very hard. Very gifted, talented girls that work hard in the summer. They work hard in the off season. They have a dedicated coach and Coach Thumlin, and they would like nothing more than to bring him a state title and the community of Chazy a state title and some good sportsmanship. They really were over there. You can see it from up here. They were all clapping for the Lisbon girls, and it was just a class act from the Chazy players. And we told you the story earlier about the person here at the Maxey Hall who said how well behaved our girls were, and we're proud of them on the soccer field. We're proud of them off the soccer field, and they just make the community very happy with their conduct on and off the field. And it was a big win for them, and I know the community, of course, when this plays, the Final Four will probably have been over. But we do wish them very, very much success next week, and I know there'll be a strong support, community support down there next weekend to support these girls and to see if we can cheer them on for their first state championship. Well, we called the game today. I'm Joey Trombley, and I got Calvin Castine on the camera, and that for those of you that don't know, that'd be my first cousin, Calvin Castine, and the relationship is our mothers are twins, and so that obviously that makes us first cousins. And he gives me the opportunity to do these games. I'm not sure if he likes to hear me, but I think it more gives him a break more than anything. And but I do appreciate the opportunity, Calvin, to do these games with you.
We certainly appreciate having you, and look forward to hearing your voice for the next several years, Joey. Thanks. Thanks for today's efforts, and thanks for those of you watching and supporting our hometown cable efforts.